I'm telling you, the reason why a man is stronger than a woman is because you were built to do her bidding, fam. You got the muscles in the voice because you were built to do her bidding. We like a whatchamacallit, fam, like a servant, fam. And that's why it's two of us now, so we equal right now. It take both of us to come together to make whatchamacallit. They tried to make it equal. It's just another version of what used to go on. Right now we got to come together to make life. We got to understand one another, the yin and the yang. You know what I'm saying? They making that come together and understand. Cause I guess we wasn't right, I guess, but it take two to. I'm guessing because it take two to make a baby right now. But I can scientifically show a person that we all don't slip the womb and we 1/3 of it. We don't miss it. None of us. You can't. That's why I can't believe in none of the follow the Bible all the way out because.
Come out of vagina.
Huh?
What about when a vagina come out of vagina?
That happens all the time when a woman have a baby girl.
Okay. Have a woman ever had any children without a man?
Yeah, that's what I was just talking about, the hermaphrodite. And if you believe in, and check this out, and if you believe in Jesus, you believe that his mama had him without sex. And we gonna move on now because now we understand what I was talking about. Now
we can't move on. That's what you call insemination.
You believe in Jesus?
Do you believe you can go to the clinic and go get some sperm from somebody and get an egg and put it together?
Fam.
Without sex?
Fam, check this out. Matter of fact, I'm glad you spoke about that. That's a very interesting.
But you don't answer no question.
I'm finna answer what you said. Do I believe? I don't believe that. I don't believe you can put all that together. I don't.
You go to the clinic all the time and get donors. What you mean?
But I don't believe. I believe in test tube, baby, but I don't believe in all that. But like.
That's what you call a test tube, baby, though.
I don't know. What are we talking about? I forgot.
He asked me.
I was trying to get my stream together.
Put it together. They inject them.
I'm gonna get to my destination so fast.
Do I believe that? What was the question again? I'm sorry.
That ain't a test tube, baby, fam. They inject the woman with the semen, fam. You hear me?
What's the difference between that and a test tube, baby?
What's the difference between what? Now, what was the question? I'm sorry. I was trying to get the stream together. If y'all are just joining us, I got Noble Enlightenment here with me tonight. And on the phone, we got Omar Prue. We're having a little conversation.
Don't call my name like that. You fucking up. That ain't my name. First of all.
Oh, we got OZ in here. Ozone.
Don't
Ozone.
say Omar Prue ever again.
Don't say that no more. He got hot then, didn't
he? He did.
That's my damn name.
Ozone. Ozone
That's
Jones.
what you refer to me as. And for the record, I don't know no hermaphrodites. I ain't never met a man that can have a baby by herself. I ain't never met a woman that can have a baby by herself.
So you can't.
That's the end of the show.
So you can't believe in Jesus then, fam. Jesus' mom was a virgin, fam.
Okay.
I ain't no okay, fam. And you can't say that and say okay if you just said that can't have.
Are you saying you don't believe in Jesus?
I don't.
You just quoted some shit from the Bible. How do you not?
That's so I can get on the basis with everybody.
You don't believe in the Bible. So why you quoting from it?
Cause that's what your logic based on. Don't you believe in Jesus and shit?
How do you know what my logic is based on?
I believe everybody is a Christian.
You brought the Bible up before anybody did.
You say, huh?
You brought the Bible up before anybody did. So how do you know what my thoughts are based on? You are assuming.
I'm assuming you right. You right, fam. You right.
With your assumptions.
You right. Them assumptions. You right, fam. I'm wrong.
Put words in people's mouth.
I'm wrong for that, fam. You right. I ain't even asked you what you was.
What was the question? What happened?
It was a bunch of questions.
All right, if y'all are just joining us, man, we got here a build with Brother Noble Enlightenment, and also we got Ozone Jones in the building. The question for tonight, The moon is a soul recycling center. Now, we were having some good conversation before we went live, and we're going to continue having it all night, man. Share us out, man. If you can, go ahead and share us out. Let people know what's going on. They might want to be a part of the conversation. Call in live 205-764-1346. Now, y'all were just talking about, now we're going to get into the moon as a soul recycling center.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? But y'all were just talking about something else here. Y'all were talking about the almond, and that was an interesting, interesting question. You know what I mean? And I just thought that would be interesting if y'all to go back into that a little bit. And that sprung the question of the chicken versus the egg. What comes first, the chicken versus the egg? And I think it'd be good to get back into that because, like I said, we were talking about.
That's very important.
We were talking about, I think, a lot of different things. Let's just go back to the beginning here. What were you saying about the egg? About the chicken? Which one are you? You were for the egg, Omar, correct? No, you were for the chicken.
My thing is, let me.
I don't know.
Okay, I'm listening.
What came first, the chicken or the egg, right?
They're right.
So, as an egg, it won't hatch without something to take care of it. And after it hatches, it needs care, right?
That's right.
So, if the egg couldn't have came first, because it would need care.
Exactly. I followed it.
From that same type, that same thing, right?
That's right.
Or whatever. It still needs care.
It needs nurture care.
First, egg can't come first.
Well,
so if the egg couldn't come first,
well, here's my question.
Where did the chicken come from?
That's correct.
That's my thing.
I'm correct.
But see, here's my thing. I understand what y'all are saying. I get what y'all saying. The build is correct. I won't even say however. In addition to that, like y'all said at the end there, where did that chicken come from? You know what I'm saying? And that's what ties us back into what I believe the conversation about science and evolution that we were having before that. You know what I'm saying? In the middle of that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like all of it plays a part. Like everything that we do plays a part. All of this is one big circle, one big cycle. You know what I'm saying? And we just riding a wave, really. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, right.
And I think that ties into your original topic. The moon is a soul recycling center. Now, tell us a little bit about that and like, what did you come up with that? And like, I want to hear this for real. You know what I'm saying? I know.
When I got first, how I got into it, I found out about what they call it, the signs of Scorpios and all astrology, all that.
Yeah.
So horoscopes. So I was getting into horoscopes. So it was fucking mind blowing. I don't screw my language out.
No,
it was mind
it's a
blowing.
podcast. Say whatever you want to say.
Because when I read my horoscope, I was like, okay, they might have got lucky and got me right. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So let me go read my brother horoscope. Cause don't nobody know my brother. I know my brother, and I read it and then it was accurate. So I go to find out how you able to calculate a person trait. You know what I'm saying? How you able to calculate a person traits by the day they was born on? You know what I'm saying? Then I come to find.
I think that stuff's general, bro. I mean, I've read it too. I'm an Aries, but I have traits of every damn sign that they ever thought about. And as far as astrological signs, they come from a certain era. And that was the era when they had many gods. It was worshiping false. I mean, you call it, I don't know. They were worshiping a lot of gods. I call them false gods, But that's where astrology comes from, but go ahead, man.
No, okay. I'm listening to both of you guys. You know what I'm saying? I think this is what is needed and is important is proper conversation, proper debate. It can get heated. Why not?
Okay,
you know what I'm saying? It can get crazy. Why not? As long as we both get something.
Yeah.
As long as everybody gets something.
My main point of what I want everybody to message is through my research of finding out like horoscopes and how they was able to calculate your horoscope. They know they calculate the day that you were born on the phases of the moon. And then I started to, do a little more research. I'm like, how could a day be different from another day? that didn't make any sense for me. I was like, how could Monday affect me different from Tuesday? That baffled me right there. I was like, because the what the horoscope says is accurate. When I read mine, I read my brother, and I said, okay, these accurate. How did they calculate that up by the day? And through my research, I found out it was by the phases of the moon. And I was like, well, it got to be some, because I don't feel no different no day, unless I do. I guess I do. If you sit down and think about it, you be like, huh, some days are good and some days are bad. Ain't that some shit? That's some little shit. But if you sit down and think, these people didn't really calculate it, sit down and did all that on how the moon affect the pool of the baby from the time you come out. And you get it's about what day you were born on. I really, to be, accurate with anybody, I can't accurately tell anybody whether it's the sun or the moon, but I'm gonna go with the moon because I can see what the sun does. The sun feed the trees. The sun and the earth, doing their thing. I can see that. You know what I'm saying? So I would say the moon.
So let me ask you this. So the moon is a soul recycling center. Now I get what you're saying. You can see what the sun does. You can see that the sun heats up the planet, that it feeds the planet, like the energy, literally, of this quadrant of space. We'll call it that for right now. Is heated, is energized, is powered by that particular energy source.
That's right.
It's not necessarily powered by it. They don't have their own separate battery, I guess. But that's right. That wave, this massive energy pulse that we can't even see or perceive. You know what I'm saying? But is constantly pervading us. That's what's feeding this quadrant of space. Like I said, I get what you're saying. We can see these things happening. We can test for these things. We can monitor these things. Now where do we get that the moon is particularly a soul recycling center? Because now I do understand, I get the concept, I get where you're going with it, as far as, when a soul does translate, as I like to call it, from whatever you get, this mortal flesh or whatever it's just a translation, a transfiguration, a transmogrification, just a changing. That's all it really is, because the information never goes anywhere. That's the first law of physics. We trying to figure out God's law, and we're not even close, but we good. You know what I'm saying? We're better than we used to be. Because like I said, we now know that matter cannot be created nor destroyed. Energy cannot be created nor destroyed. It is. What did God say? What did God say? Or Yod Havahe, Jehovah, Yahweh. He said, "I am that I am." You know what I mean? Well, what should I tell the people when I go? When I tell them I'm coming to your name, I am that I am. And I think that translates in any language. Very, very beautifully. It is what it is. That you could say that quite confidently and say, yeah, that's probably a literal translation in some other dialect.
Yeah.
But with that being said, how do we get that information that's on this plane, as you like to say, and get it to the moon? How does that happen?
Because the sun, the reason why I say that, because the sun, we know what it does. We can see what it does. But the moon, as you can see, it's the only thing that changes up there. It got phases. Like we do. Me and you human go through phases.
Mm.
The moon do too, and I'm just like, it really was right there the whole time. Wait, the moon go through. The moon go through. Yeah, and then when I looked into all the religions, don't you know that the Muslim, the crescent moon, and even the Satan, the picture of Baphomet has the same crescent moon and star as the you seen the Muslim hat thing?
Mm-hmm.
The picture of Baphomet has that same one. There's a picture of Jesus. It's that same. It's a picture of Jesus.
Now explain who Baphomet is, brother. Explain who Baphomet is.
The Baphomet,
and we're gonna come right back into this.
Satan worshippers get into this thing called this code thing. Baphomet's a goat. It's a picture of him. You look for it. He's standing with his hands out with his two fingers. If you look to the other corner, there's a crescent moon. If you look to over there, there's a star. That crescent moon and stars on, and it's in all 4 religions. Even for Satan, that same symbol, that's the same crescent moon, the same star. I don't want to. I don't want to change. Let's turn from that. I just want to.
Okay, now let's get back.
I want to turn.
Let's give Z a chance to talk real quick. What's up, Z?
The moon can't have any face without the sun, right?
Correct.
The moon the sun casts the sun and the earth and the whatever. They cast. It causes the moon to be a full moon. The reflection of the sun, correct? So
No.
the crescent moon is only the reflection of the sun and the shadow on the other side, right?
No, sir. The moon has its own light.
The moon got its own light.
Moon has its own light.
Where you learn that shit at?
They've been tested. I ain't telling you, man. I'm telling you, go do the research. The moon give off its own light.
Research.
If you go outside in the daytime, the sun and the moon are both up. The moon is not shining off the sun. They're both in the sky at the same time in the daytime. And at nighttime,
Who told you that?
I'm telling you what you can. I'm not telling you with no science book. Hold on. Let me get the. Can I get the flow for a minute? It's been proven. Not like a theory.
Where are you getting your information from?
I'm telling you that it's finna be nighttime with the sun. It doesn't need.
Because the sun's still shining. The sun don't stop shining.
At night, I'm telling you when the sun goes.
So I get what both of you are saying. Video output low. What's going on now? So I get what both of you guys are saying. I do understand that the sun reflects, the moon reflects the light of the sun. Also, I get that's not what he's saying. What he's saying, and saying my stream health is low, my video output is low.
He's saying the moon produces its own light. That's what he said.
That's correct. And this research back. This ain't no science book. This ain't. Go look to the internet.
Now I will say this. There is enough light in the cosmos to where if the sun were not there, you know, this section of the universe wouldn't necessarily have no light. You know what I mean? It would be dark. You know, I mean, things are icy and things are dark, but we can still see them. You know, because of the light that's reflecting off of them, and you know, the light that they emit at times, you know, even.
So they got billions and billions of stars.
Exactly. So I mean, I get what that's why I was saying I get what he's saying to that degree. I mean, you know, the sun.
But he said the moon produces its own light. He didn't say that he.
I think that.
What color? Have you ever seen them? You know what sunlight? Sunlight has a color, or does it? Does sunlight have a hue? A shade of color?
Right now.
I'm just going through how the research are done. The moonlight is cold.
We can't even get past this. How the hell we gonna talk about anything else?
I was just I wanted everybody to know that the phases of the moon.
No, let me just get something right. We're gonna get back to the phases of the moon. Let me just go right in here. I want to get past this point too because I want to make sure that this point that this is understood. Somebody's calling her phone. I do understand what he's saying. I think that a little bit better articulation would have been better, but definitely understand what he's saying. You know, I get what both of you guys are saying, and I think, correct me if I'm wrong here, everything is technically light. You know what I mean? Everything is technically a cholesterol of light. And when I say cholesterol, I'm not talking about your body cholesterol. Everything is technically cholesterol. When light starts hitting something, it matter starts doing crazy shit. It starts getting hot and bumping into each other.
So and matter, not light.
Matter is light. Matter is light. God said, "Let there be light." He didn't say, "Let there be matter." We are light. Everything is light. Everything is a light or a light cholesterol. It's a light byproduct. Everything. There is no exception to that rule.
A light byproduct, but not light.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, it's just like saying. I guess that's like saying either you're coal or you're a diamond. They're both the same thing, technically. You know what I mean? But it's just they take different forms. Are you sunlight or are you chlorophyll? Are you melanin or are you pale skin?
Light, you couldn't see none of that. So
exactly, we only see on certain frequencies. Everything is on a frequency. Light frequencies. Kanye made a song. We on the ultra light beam. We on the ultra light beam. This is the God dream. Okay, my bad. I won't smoke no more Kanye. I'm on Kanye on the line list. I won't go back to Kanye, but I will say that we are literally ultralight beings.
That's true.
All right. With that being said, we're gonna go back to the moon phases. The phases of the moon. You said now you were saying the faces, the faces, or the phases. Phases, like the different phase, like the quarter, crescent, all that stuff. Now you were saying he was saying how the every major religion has this a moon in their symbology somewhere. And I guess you could Google that and say we're not going to pull up Google right now for you. I guess go back and look at that later. You know what I'm saying? Maybe later on when I get my technology better, I can put it up on the screen for you as we're talking.
Can I come in?
Yeah, go ahead.
He was talking about the Baphomet.
Yes, we were going to Baphomet and
the picture you got the guy, he pointing up one way, he pointing down the other way, he got hermaphrodite titties, all that.
Yes.
This other picture that he's talking about, that Jesus is doing the same thing.
No.
You would have to believe that Jesus is a blonde guy, because that's the picture that you're talking about, the blonde picture of Jesus, right?
You're right.
Everybody knows. Well, I don't know if everybody knows, but it should be known that Jesus wasn't a blonde-headed guy, right? So if he wasn't, how could that picture have any relevance if it's not even true?
I think, honestly, y'all don't want my opinion on that. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna leave that one alone.
I'm gonna tell you the truth, man.
I mean, I'm just saying the picture can't be the picture. I don't believe got Jesus.
No, but see, here's the thing. There's so many different pictures of Jesus. You got the picture of the gay guy from France. They got the one of the prince's gay lovers or something like that, who was also a child molester. That was one portrait of Jesus that they painted. Another portrait of Jesus that was even older than that was the portrait of Serapis, who was because what happened was when the Greeks finally conquered Egypt, they went down into Egypt and they said, well, they've got this great religion. You know what I'm saying? Well, what we're going to do is we're going to co-opt it. We're going to adopt it, but we're going to put our face on it. You know what I'm saying? So they'll think that, and the whole Jesus and Madonna, the Christ figure, and his mother, the virgin birth, all the esoterical, the knowledge that they got, all of that they transferred over into this new god called Serapis. And go look this up. Google it. Anyway, Serapis looks just like any picture of Jesus you're ever going to find, and that was the prototype for the new Jesus of the modern world. So yeah, what you're saying is absolutely true.
What I got from that is, quote, they, unquote, are causing confusion. They
on purpose.
Causing confusion, right?
Yes, on purpose.
So it's a confusion. So how could it be? It's not fact then. Cause it's obvious that it's confusing everybody.
That's fact.
What is confusing everybody? What is confusing everybody? Let's go back to that. What you were just saying about them taking, some adopting. No. Oh, okay. Here's the thing. I'll say there's no. I don't want there to be confusion with this. I want this to be completely understood. When the Greeks conquered Egypt, after Alexander the Great died, his empire was split up among his generals, and these generals, one of them being Ptolemy, started to go on their own campaigns and try to continue to conquer the rest of the world. And now they had already been to Egypt. They had already broken off the noses. They had already burned the libraries. They had already done all of these things. Egypt to them was a resort because it was so beautiful. They had to tear down those things to make it more Caucasian, I guess you could say. You know what I'm saying? But it was already a beautiful Mecca of the world. So why would they not want to be there? So they went there and they learned culture. They learned everything that they could, and they found out that, man, this way of life is really the way to go. So they adopted that, and the Greco-Roman empire basically shaped Christianity for the rest of the world. And basically, that's why
those Egyptians weren't even worshiping Jesus.
But see, here's the thing. Here's where you're wrong. Here's where you're wrong. They were worshiping Horus, who was Jesus.
They don't worship, yeah.
But see, that's the thing.
Horus is not Jesus.
That's the thing. Horus is not Jesus. No. But here's the thing. All of this stuff is really allegory. Because if you look into every story like this from every religion, from every corner of the world, they all have a story like this, and the names change.
You die before you can
Now
research
here's the
every
thing. Here's the thing. Yeah, you will, but you can try. You can do your best, and I have done a lot of that research over the last several years. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that I'm some scholar. I'm not saying that I'm the smartest guy in the world. All I'm saying is I have done a little bit of research into this, and if you really look into every major religion and even minor ones, spreading, back from the dawn of time, they all tell the same story, the exact same story if you really dig down into it. And I'm not going to reveal that just yet. I'm going to get back into this. Let's get back into this. The moon has phases. I'm going to keep y'all in some suspense here. If y'all just joining us, I got Noble Enlightenment here with me today. I got OZ in the building. We're having a great conversation. The moon is a recycling center. Now we're slowly going into this. The moon has phases. Let's go here.
Oh yeah, the moon has phases, and that's like we get our attributes from, like a human. Like we go through so many phases, just like the moon. This the only like we already know, like the sun is up there. We know what it's doing, and the moon is, going through with like how we go through. We never happy all the time. We never sad all the time. We never experience one emotion all the time. And neither does the moon. But the sun, it ain't gonna never be half a sun. It gonna always go through one cause.
I guess my question is, and I guess that's where a lot of us are a little incredulous, because I've heard this theory before. I've never heard it really just articulated well, but I guess my question is how, to my understanding and the way I view things is all of this information, all of this matter, data, light, whatever you want to call it, cholesterol, plaque, whatever you want to call it, it's here on this plane, on this physical plane. Like the ether is there, we know it's there, but have we ever been to the ether? I mean, nobody ever up here has been in the rarefied air. You know what I'm saying? So we don't even know that it technically exists. You know what I'm saying? We know. The ether, the what we call space, what we call outside of this dome or plane or planet or whatever you want to call it, outside of this.
So you telling me that a telescope shows what a telescope wants to?
Yeah, a telescope shows you exactly what's out there, but how do you know what that is?
Okay.
The thing, it's been called so many things over these. It's been called ether, space, the dome.
All that, you feel me?
All that, you know what I'm saying? It's been called so many things. Oh my God, don't tell me my string cut out.
The firmament.
The firmament, exactly.
Hey, look, it say that in the Bible.
Don't tell me my string cut. They trying to cut me down. They trying to shut us down. We done shut you too. Oh, we back. Pull back up. Pull back up. We back. We ain't got but 2 people watching. It's all good though.
It's all good.
We in here because this is important conversation here. This is important stuff. Sorry about that. I don't know what happened with my stream there, but we back now. If you just joined us, I got Noble Enlightenment here. OZ on the phone. We're having this good conversation right now. We were talking about the phases of the moon. We got into it. We tipped off of that a little bit into what were we talking about? I'm sorry.
Yeah, we went to Horus, Egypt.
Yes, yeah. Well, let's just go back into. Let's just go. Okay, that's where we were. I was trying to understand how on this physical Earth plane you have this information, right?
That's right.
All of this is connected. You grounded to it, right?
That's right.
So how do you get it from here to the moon without some outside source? You know what I'm saying? Without some kind of vehicle or some kind of something has to get it there. Because how else is it gonna get from here to there? That's what always got me about. Are you going to heaven when you die? You going to heaven when you die?
How you gonna get there?
How you getting there? You know what I'm saying? Like that was always my question. You know what I'm saying? Like
that's if you believe that's what happened.
Yeah, that's true. That's like if you believe that.
I don't believe the moon is a recycling system. I don't believe we go to the moon, fam.
So what happens with it?
I think that's where the souls come from.
That's where the souls come from. You think that's where they're stored or something like that?
That's correct. Yeah, I believe that's the database. Your phase.
All of this stuff is database.
Exactly.
All of this stuff.
I believe that phase has its own
I'm finna call
codes. Let me go into it. Can I get everything is simulated codes? The phases. are encoded. If you can break down the program, you see codes. If you go into a sperm bank and look at German, Chinese. If you go into a sperm bank and look at German, Chinese, black, tall, short, blue hair, blonde hair, bro, you cannot see sperm. You cannot see trace within sperm. And it's identical to one another. But this is my main thing, fam. You can walk in a sperm bank, fam, and you cannot point out, be like, this one is a tall man. Like, they can't even do it. That's why they label it from who they got it from. You cannot look at it and tell what it is. It can only be, they have to see who they got it from to know it, because everything is in codes. The sperm going to a woman, it went in as a sperm, but it's the same sperm as all them other couple. Why the children look tall and short and blonde and all these different races, but all the sperm look the same, because within the sperm is code. This is a program, a simulation program. Pretty much, but not like how they had it. But they were basically trying to tell you the truth, because if you look how you got here, your sperm is identical to everything, but the difference between it all is it's encoded with DNA structure. DNA is a series of code, like any other program on your computer or anything you watch. A series of code that allow you to see. You think you seeing white, but what made that white? That white, we made it. It was. You know what I'm saying? Like, we construct things. We put things together and it creates some. What I'm saying is, we constructing codes. And I don't want to leap. This is a huge leap. I know y'all ain't gonna be able to follow me, but what kind of the dome, like the skies, it's a black mirror. The sky really a black mirror, like the television and like the one on your phone.
I knew you were going somewhere like that. Now, what happened now? I knew you were finna go off the rail.
The dome like the same black mirror to television. It ain't no outside.
I'm just kidding.
The moon is in here with us. The moon is in here. Hey, it's a part of. It's a program. It's encoded to do with this. It's software. The moon is software. Yes, the moon is the software. Huh? The moon is the software for the avatars, the attribute for your avatar.
So, where are we?
The attribute for your avatar: Pisces, Scorpio, Aries, Taurus, Leo. You are an avatar that has attributes. The moon go through phases. These is how they calculate the attributes. They calculate it by the fate. Huh?
Where is your information's origin? Where does it come from?
It come from the like the sun and the moon. It come from them. All you gotta do is look at it.
Where does your information come from?
The sun and the moon, fam. Just pay attention to it. I told you it go through phases.
No, I'm talking about what you saying out your mouth right now. Where are you getting this information from?
I had to do research. It didn't just.
Now you're wrong. Now you just dead wrong. Water takes whatever form it's in.
That's correct.
If it's in a river, it's gonna sit like a river.
That's correct.
If it's in a damn cup, it's gonna shake the cup.
That's
so
correct.
What are you talking about?
But at the surface, what is it? Does it curve at the surface?
Okay, let me get control of this train.
And you exactly. And you said the concrete evident part. You said water. You said water take the form of its container. Correct? Did you not say that? Let's jump back. What we are part of is 70% water and 30% land. What container?
So are we made up of water?
Of course, fam. I said the what we.
Is your brain flat, nigga?
Why would my brain be flat, fam?
I don't know. You just said. I'm just fucking with you.
I don't deal with what I'm saying. The earth is made of 70% water, 30% land. That's a whole pie and a little piece of crust for your land. If all that water, and as we know what water do, it lays flat at the surface. And as we can see that it's 70, and as we can.
I used to be on the submarine, okay? I used to be So we usually go from left to right. So you telling me that I get to a certain point and I have to turn around?
I don't follow you. I don't know. I don't know about this.
I know you don't.
I don't follow you
So
on that.
if I'm on a boat and I'm going from America to Africa, I go around Africa. If I go around Africa, I'm gonna miss my turn, y'all.
Oh,
if I go
shit.
around Africa, right? And I keep on going over there by India, go past China. When I get past China, I'm gonna come to a stopping point.
No, sir. You on an endless plane. You heard what I said?
It keeps on going until when? Because
It
when
don't end.
I was stationed in Hawaii. I can go from Hawaii, right, and go west and end up in Guam and China and shit. So how could I do that on the west side of the United States? You mean to tell me they were lying to me?
I'm telling you that the map is.
With navigation?
I'm telling you that the map.
My sonar text and me being a ETRO, driving as helms and plainsman, steering the boat. You mean to tell me that when I was going up, down, left, and right, it was really telling me a lie? That I really wasn't going the way that we were navigating to go? They confused me on that grand scale.
What I'm telling you,
I can't shoot a missile from Hawaii and it go around and hit China. You mean to tell me that this flip around is? I don't know. If the Earth was flat, I don't see how anything. A lot of things could be possible.
all things are possible. And you been on the. Fam, you heard of an airplane? You heard of an airplane? You know why you heard of it? Fam, don't you know it's been inventions that they didn't, like, I don't know what they call it, but they ain't let them come out because they holding on to the airplane. But we don't even know right now what them folk going through. They trying to put a bunch of stuff out. But because when you hear a person say we on the plane of existence, the reason why they call it an airplane, because this is a plane, not a planet. It's not a planet. The T was added.
Don't the word PLANE, when you add a T, ain't it called planet?
The T is a part of the English language. It was constructed for the enslavement of me and you, my brother. I'm telling you, the T is from the Catholic. I want to tell you, bro, Jesus was burnt on a lowercase T. You might think it's a crucifix.
You don't believe in Jesus. How are you talking about Jesus?
He a fictional character in a book called the Bible. I'm speaking on him. He in the Bible. He exists in the Bible, fam. And then on top of
a fictional character
that exists in the Bible, and then on top of that, he pretty famous. So when I speak on
how do you know that he's fiction? And what you saying is fiction?
I ain't the proof of what I'm saying. I can show it. I ain't gonna tell you no speculation. By like how it
showed me nothing yet.
You just gotta pay attention, my brother. I explained everything that I told
I'm listening, and I'm responding to you.
I'm trying to understand what the question is now. What was the question? I'm back in it now.
I want to understand, like, okay, my brother, you said you haven't understood. You said you haven't understood anything I was saying, so.
I ain't say I ain't understood anything. You say I hear you loud and clear. I just don't see any facts, anything that you're saying.
Okay. Well, everything I'm saying, I don't know what a fact is. Like, everything I'm saying could be proven from your own, you know.
The Bible say the world is round.
Now the Bible say the world. The Bible don't say that, fam. The Bible say the world got four corners.
No, it don't.
It says sit on pillars.
Lies.
Nah, that's the truth, fam.
I know it said in Job, where were you when I laid the foundations of the earth? I don't know what that means. You know what I'm saying? That could mean anything.
It said,
I can drive this truck and pull up this scripture at the same time.
Pull it up, fam. It said.
You ain't finna tell me that this Bible said.
It had four. It say the four corners of the. It say the four corners.
The Bible say the earth was round, man. Come on now.
The Bible said the four corners of the earth. The earth couldn't be the reason why the earth could not be round, my brother, is because water, you know, like when you were born in a sack of water, you know, a baby born in a sack of water is the cradle of life, my brother, and it got one rule, fam. And you know that it take the shape of its container, and as you know, it's 70% of what we live on, fam. Fam, it don't matter what you pour it in. It will remain flat at the surface, my brother. The pie we standing on is 30% of it. The rest of it is water, my brother. The water lay flat, my brother. Ain't no curved lakes. Ain't no curved ocean. It's a horizon, fam. The sun disappeared a point. It go under the plane. Fam. Look. They got video right now, fam. You people taking cameras and zooming back in on stuff that disappear over the horizon, fam.
Now, this is my question. All right. So,
fam, you can zoom in over the horizon.
Now, this is my question. Though. We can look at nature. You know what I'm saying? We can look. We don't have to believe in anything to look at nature and see. Observe it. And when I observe nature, me personally, I look at, let's say, I got this up way loud. Let's say I'm looking at a basketball. If I take the air out of it, it's not a basketball no more. It's only a basketball because I know what a basketball is. If I had never seen a basketball, I wouldn't know what the fuck that is. You know what I'm saying? Now, and it only has that shape because it's molded to have that shape. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you could put air in anything and shape it to form it, and you can form a cube, you can form a star. They got balloon animals you can do. You can put air in anything and make it form anything because air does that. That's correct. Water, anything that you could put something in, you could do that with. Unless you put nails in a sock, you're not gonna be able to, bend that. You know what I mean?
That's correct. That's right.
But, you know what I'm saying? But with that being said, you could look at nature and see what it does. So my thing is this: if I'm on this plane. And I got a bowl of water. Let's say a regular bowl of water.
That's correct.
And I take that water and I throw it up into the sky. And I understand that the law of gravity says that it'll fall back to the earth at 9.8 meters per second squared, relative to its mass. Correct?
You just lost all of us.
I'm just saying. So relative to this mass, that's how fast it's gonna fall back to the earth, and that's a calculation you can do on your spare time.
Okay,
kids.
you got to be.
You know what I'm saying? But with that being said, when you throw that water up into the air, it's gonna fall back down, correct? Because that's how gravity, what we know of as gravity, works, right? Now, before it hits the ground and splatters, what shape is it gonna have? It's gonna be what they call globular. In globular, it does not mean a globe. Globular doesn't mean that you're looking at something completely round. It doesn't mean you're looking at a sphere. A sphere and a glob are two different things. And they're both scientific terms.
Yeah, a glob. I get what you said.
And so that's what I think the Earth looks like, and the planets and the stars and everything else out here, and the universe itself probably. You know what I'm saying? Like I can only go by what I see. You know what I'm saying? Like that glob, it could look. You could throw it up, and some of it look like a little ball, and some of it look like a, and some of it still spinning and whoop 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 whoop.
Yeah, I feel like dough and shit.
Yeah, it's doing crazy shit up in the air because it's all these different forces acting on it.
Yeah,
and you got to think about those forces times a universe. You know what I'm saying? Times literally times a universe. You know what I'm saying? Like that's no small thing. So these globs that we see, there's probably some way bigger, way denser globs, you know what I'm saying? Like what we call black holes or quasars or pulsar or neutron stars and these things. Ain't shit but globs.
Yeah.
Of water that somebody done threw up. God, call them whatever you want to.
You
know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I think that was a story here. I looked at a story. I seen it. Well, I didn't do it now. I just seen a video on YouTube. He was YouTube in his telescope. He got one of them things show you what it, and from what I'm saying, I'm finna follow B on this glob thing because it looked like water and it was moving.
Let's see. I'll be right back.
So I'm probably gonna go in on it too.
My bad. And I was trying to get into that to say about the flat Earth. That's why I couldn't possibly believe in the flat Earth. I looked into it. I read up on it. You still there, Z? I read up on flat Earth. I looked into it. You know what I'm saying? But I just couldn't personally get with it because of that fact. Because that's facts. You know what I'm saying? Like, ain't no way to get around. Because I observed it. You know what I'm saying? Like, everybody, you know.
In order to believe the Earth is flat, you would have to believe everything that he said about the sun, the moon creating its own, like the black mirror, all that. That's the only thing that can justify the Earth being flat. Because without rotation, without a 24-hour rotation,
well,
the sun, it's night. Where does night and day come from? You know what I'm saying? Where does
well, see, there's whole theories about that. The whole flat Earth theory.
What is winter? It takes too much for the Earth to be flat and prove to be. It takes too much. You have to. It takes too much to prove that.
But
it's impossible to prove.
No. Now you lying now. You gonna answer your own question. I believe you gonna answer your own question. Am I gonna answer?
No, I want to put this in there. I believe the simulation could be true too. You know what I mean?
And then,
I think that could be true as well.
When I speak on the flat Earth,
simulation of what? Something like a computer program?
No, but see, all of this is data. All of this is information. How do you think computers are made? Computers are made by people, and I'm not doing this to get nobody's side or nothing like that. But all of this stuff.
Are made.
Exactly, and this water. Do you drink water?
They're made.
Do you drink? Let me ask you. If you drink water, this water was made too. This water was made. Exactly.
Hey, if I check this out. You told me. Look, you told me.
If it was made, then it's synthetic. Anything that
it's simulated. I want to move on and move back and say, yeah. OZ, there we call you. OZ, just a moment ago, you agreed that water takes the shape of any containers in. Am I correct?
I stated that. I stated that. I said that. What you talking about?
I don't know. I'm waiting on it too.
Let me say. Okay. Check this out, fam. Now, both of y'all believe that the Earth is a globe, correct? Can I get you to say that?
I believe that the Earth is globular. I believe that things generally are globular.
OZ, now I got you on two statements. I got you saying that water takes the shape of its container. Now I got you saying that the Earth that is mainly water, it's round.
Okay. Don't it rain too? Don't it rain?
Correct.
What shape does rain take? Okay, what shape does rain take?
It's a glob.
Where rain come from?
It's a glob, like B said.
I'm talking to him, B. Where rain come from?
Rain comes from the cloud.
What's the shape of a cloud?
They simulate clouds.
It's a glob too. All this.
And it's a glob.
Who is they? Who is they?
They control what.
Fam.
Fam, you ever heard of hurricanes?
They is so general. Who is they?
I can't.
Who are they?
The parents. I'm finna be specific. Can I get specific? Let's be specific. The parents.
Be specific when we started talking, homie.
The parents of hurricanes and shit like that, fam. First and foremost, go and do your research. Japan been simulating cloud. They make weather. The weather is simulated. There's a weather channel. They tell you what the forecast would be. It's simulated. They make the cloud, fam. How else would they know what the week finna be? Fam, they made the cloud.
Clouds been made since the beginning of the time. Huh?
Fam, I'm telling you right now, bro. They simulating them. I don't know. I can't. I'm only finna tell you.
You talking about HARP? That's what you're talking about.
I'm only finna tell you.
About the machine that goes as a HARP. That's what they call HARP. So HARP ain't always been here, because it ain't always been machine.
Look, and look, from my understanding, look, you might can deny that, fam, but guess what? Somebody can be like me. Look,
it's a weapon.
Just that it is. That what I was finna say. It's weaponized.
The actual game, Red Alert, came out like in the early 1990s, and it had all that shit going on.
This what I'm telling you. I say that to tell you, fam. That shit, a cloud and all weather and all. I'm saying that shit man-made, fam. I'm telling you, bro. You cannot.
It's always been. The Egyptian made that shit too.
Talking about a cloud, fam. I'm trying to give you the enlightenment. If the earth is 70% water, fam, you can hear me. You there, OZ?
So you don't believe in precipitation and the process?
I believe in chemistry. Yes, chemistry. I believe in chemistry. We make guns and bombs. We make weather. Of course, I believe in chemistry.
So you don't think weather? So okay.
I believe in chemistry, fam. We make guns and I just said we weaponize weather.
When you drink a cold bottle, you got a cold bottle of water, right?
I'm looking at one right now, bro. That was blowing my mind right now. I'm listening. I'm finna listen. I'm listening.
Cold water. The condensation was man-made.
They can see this.
Yeah.
That what you saying?
I want to show all my viewers. Not we just
The process
these are
is
the
not
lies.
just rain. There's a lot of different processes, right? Oh my goodness! Look at the police.
So what are we talking about? I'm sorry, I missed the whole thing.
I want my viewer to know that this is the law of the majority of your world. You looking at the laws of it through this bottle. It don't matter what container it gotta lay like this, fam. Don't matter how deep the ocean or how deep the woman call it. The laws of 70% of your world, this the rule of it right here. No matter the depth of it, it's gonna lay like this.
I want to get back to this simulation thing because I think that's a very interesting topic. I don't want to get too deep into it because maybe we can turn it into another episode about this. But I mean, if you really think about it, when you think about a simulation, when you think about a computer, or you have to program it, right? You have to program a computer, right? And how do you program a computer? With code. Everything has a code, right? And we just talked about how everything is light, right? And how everything is either a light or a light byproduct.
That's right.
So how does this light byproduct or light itself know how to assemble itself? Code. Everything is built on a certain frequency. It's built on a certain set of numerical and mathematical facts, principles.
Which come from what?
Which come from whatever you want to say.
Whatever you want
to say.
It doesn't matter. That's what I'm saying. I fuck with you, Oz.
That's the thing, though. It's the source, God, Allah, Jehovah, Yahweh, Yohadvahe.
He don't believe in God, though. I'm not arguing with you.
But see, here's the thing.
He don't believe in God.
I don't think that he believe. Are you an atheist?
No, I believe that the gods are the women.
You believe that women are God.
I believe what a human think God is. You know what I'm saying? I believe like
Where your woman at?
My woman.
Where your woman at?
She just went to the store, fam.
What you do for her?
Everything everything, fam.
Whatever she say.
Hell yeah, that's how we got here, fam.
Oh, you do whatever she say?
I don't do whatever she say. No nigga do. We out. Because, bro, we full of everything. All these fucking, the money, all this meat. We eat meat.
You said the men were put here to do a woman's bidding. That's what you said when we first started talking.
That's correct. I said the world was made over. And the first time. I said the first time.
She tell you to do.
No, you ain't listening. I said the first time they were made to rule over. I said this is the third time it's been made. We made in duality. We got to understand each other. Yin and yang.
We ain't got to do what they tell us to do. That's what you saying.
Or if this on record, I said that in the beginning. I said the world has been made several times over. It's been a simulation. This is a simulation. It's a program.
Based on what? Where did you get that information? Because you don't believe in the Bible, so why do you believe that?
The religion prove it. I just told you in this video.
Pieces of the Bible to believe in.
And exactly. Now listen. Now look. The Bible, everybody believe in, I don't. Guess we got in common. Fam, I just told you through all it. What I don't even know.
Can I explain? Can I break in here for just a second? I'm not, like I said, again, not trying to take any side. I just want to make sure everything is clear and understood. I think that what JoJo was trying to say here, I'm sorry, what's your name? Noble Enlightenment.
Yeah, Noble Enlightenment.
I think what Noble Enlightenment here is trying to say is that he don't necessarily believe in a God.
Or
one God, or I think that what he's saying is that, and correct me if I'm wrong, that everybody has a different definition of God, right? Some people call Allah God. Some people think that some people are in different countries they worship cows and grasshoppers and different things like that.
The sun,
you know what I'm saying? The sun, all kind of different things, all kind of different things. And I think that what he's saying for him, in his observation and his understanding,
is a woman.
That he thinks that a woman is basically the closest thing to the perfect form that you could get. Like if you were looking for a model of perfection, of a God'smanship work, you'd look to a woman.
I hope so, fam.
Like, I mean, I think that's what I get from it. You know what I'm saying? Like I've heard
from your mom.
I've heard this philosophy before. I've heard it. This philosophy before, and I've heard it in different terms. Like there's a group called the 5 Percenters, and they also believe that the woman is God, and the black woman in particular is God. That the black woman birthed everything, so therefore, black woman is God.
The proof of what I'm telling anybody is, you come from a woman, and without her, you die, and you don't proceed. You don't give a seed, you don't live on. You come from her, and through her you live on. You come from her, and through her you live on. It's no way around it. It's no way around it, fam. So, and I want to say everybody, all humans come from sperm, and I can't even say that, fam.
Now, I do want to say that, what I'm saying, the whole idea of having a God and believing in a God it's different things for different people. You know what I mean? So when we have conversations, like for me, for particular, when I'm saying God, I'm talking about like all of them, rolled into one. And a lot of people might find that offensive because they're like, well, God is Jesus. You know what I mean? And then, or God is Krishna. Or God is Allah. And I'm mad because you don't believe what I believe. And
they do.
And I want to say that these conversations are necessary because if we don't have them, then we'll never understand each other. You know what I'm saying? Like it ain't even about wanting to push one belief or this one off on another one. It ain't about that at all. Because I'm sure nobody in this room believes gonna change. You know what I'm saying?
I'm everything.
You know what I'm saying? It's just it's good to have these talks and to get an understanding. Say again. Oh, Eddie, did you have any kids?
Oh, no, sir. No, sir.
You sound like you don't.
I don't got no kids.
Can your woman make a kid without you?
Oh, no, sir. Look, check this out. I was gonna say, look, check this out. Look, can I answer? I want to answer. I want to answer your question. Through my research, I come to find out, bro, through a woman can stress herself out into a what do you call a mutation. Bro, it's a mutation. And
she can mutate on her own.
If all the men fall off the planet of the earth, then women gonna mutate.
Something like a caterpillar turns into a butterfly.
Nah, they just gonna get pregnant on their own.
How?
I think stuff like that happen.
If your woman got pregnant on her own, what would you think she got pregnant from?
I think the same thing, Jesus. I think the same thing Jesus did. I'm like, she been getting that pussy.
Exactly. What did Joseph think?
Abraham and goddamn King
Gabriel himself had to come down to Joseph like, Joseph, turn not Mary thy away.
We're talking about noble enlightenment. without you having sex with her, what would you believe that she got pregnant from?
I answered your question, fam. I done told you she can gave that pussy to somebody.
What you say?
I told you.
Oh.
The same thing Jesus daddy and them thought.
So she tell you, she a God. She told you, hey, I got pregnant on my own. Ain't nobody
Well,
else.
see, that's where the whole story came from, and this is very interesting. This shit just got real. It got extremely real just now because the exact story that you just told Omar is the exact story that you're asked to believe to be a Christian. But guess what? The story didn't start there.
No, that's not the exact story. That's nowhere near it.
Really?
Nowhere near it.
You're asked to believe that Jesus was born of a virgin.
That's correct.
Nowhere near it.
So how it ain't?
Nowhere near it.
Why?
What's your concept of God?
I just said Christian. I just said Christian. But here's my point. Here's my point. Here's my point. We're not gonna go up. Here's my point. That story did not originate in. Let me just finish.
Let me elaborate.
No, let me just finish this. Because this is very important. This is extremely important. No. This is extremely important. This is extremely important for a reason. Because the very root of what we call the Jesus story is rooted in Africa.
That's correct.
You know what I'm saying? And the whole story I was telling you earlier about how Ptolemy came down to Egypt and destroyed the black faces and burned the libraries and then instituted a white god that represented the same thing that the Egyptians already believed, but just with a white face on it. And that god is what I'm telling you. Nazareth is in Africa. They call that the Middle East. But the only thing that's separating it from the continent of Africa is a 10-mile river called the Red Sea. All that's in Africa.
Yeah, you on the right track.
The original story, Adam and Eve, the lady had to get a boy the fruit from. Only a woman can go.
But
to
no,
the
let me finish my point. Let me finish my point about this because this is extremely important. Like I said, the whole story of Semiramis, Nimrod, and Tammuz, and you can trade out Nimrod for Marduk, for Beelzebub, for Baal, all of these names that you read in the Bible that that you didn't, you never really did. Not you. I'm just saying people listen and never really did the research and find out who these people were. All these people were the same person. Right. Marduk, Baal, Beelzebub, all these Nimrod, Gilgamesh, you name it. All these people were the same person. Horus, Jesus. All these people were the same person. And the story has been passed down since pretty much the beginning of time. That lets you know that it's true, that the story itself holds merit because it's been passed down so much. But what the story is basically, and it's been changed over time. But in the beginning,
I don't believe
in the beginning, what happened was Marduk was this great hunter, and the Bible even calls him Nimrod. He said Nimrod was a great hunter in the earth. This was Genesis chapter 6, verse 2 or 3, because right after that he goes into Noah in the day. He goes into the Genesis 6 experiment, as I like to call it. We can go into that another day. But basically, he calls Nimrod a mighty hunter in the earth in those days, a mighty man of renown. And if you go back to the original Hebrew, he's called a Nephilim. A Nephilim, a mighty man of renown, a Nephilim, basically a hybrid of these angels and demons, angels and humans, because angels were coming down. And the Genesis 6 experiments was basically God had came down. What did Genesis 6 say? 6 and 4. God had saw that that man had corrupted their ways, and there was no flesh that had been uncorrupted on the earth. So he decided to send the flood, right? And what had corrupted these people? These hybridizations, these bastardizations. Angels were coming down and teaching men sorcery, witchcraft, metalworking, war, cosmetics, all these different things. You know what I'm saying? So, and we call them angels, but all it is really everything is energy, right? Everything is light. So these are just light beings. You know what I'm saying? Who just translating, channeling their energy to because you think about it. These things didn't probably just come down and sit down physically. Yes, I am Semiramis. I am. That didn't happen probably. Yeah. But a person probably did have a dream one day or some kind of other subconscious
through a
thought.
level of meditation.
Man, you know, if I take this rock right here and I melt it down, this metal gonna come out, and I can shape that metal and turn it into this sword, and I can kill up a bunch of motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? Don't nobody, you know.
He ain't wake up.
He didn't.
He wasn't thinking how I'm gonna beat the fuck out this rock with this water and then say I'm finna make a
exactly.
sword.
These are right here to the left. All these energies were definitely influenced. And like I said, let me get back to it. So the Genesis 4, we learned that about Nimrod. Nimrod was a mighty man around, one of these Nephilim, one of these giants, one of these these bastardized, not corrupted flesh things that they had back in those days, right?
Yeah.
He was also the king of these men, and it also went on to say that, and he became the king, and he had land out to the east of such and such. But basically, his land turned into Ashur, and if you know anything about that level of the word, Ashur, Assyria, Sumerian, Iraq, Afghanistan, all that they call the cradle of civilization, right to the east of Africa. That is not really, Africa was there way before. All that stuff was happening way before anything was happening right there. You know what I'm saying? All it was is they took the knowledge. They literally took it. Everything that the Jews everything, the Jews, the Muslims, everything is just a bastardized version of African spirituality. Everything, every last bit of it. Every last bit of Christianity, Hinduism, every last bit of it. It's just a bastardized version of African spirituality. And basically, let me get back to the story of Nimrod. So Nimrod was this mighty hunter back in these days, right? He created an empire. Not only he created an empire, he wanted to build a tower to the heavens. You know what I'm saying? So he could pull God down. So he could depose God, right? So yeah. God saw his plan and said, well, let's go down here and because, they speak one tongue, so anything that they put their mind to do, they can do. Well, here's the thing about that. So God saw these people down here doing this thing. He saw Nimrod doing this thing, right? Yeah. He saw Marduk doing this thing, right? Gilgamesh, doing this thing, right? And he said to himself, damn, he might be able to pull this off. Let me go out here and figure them out. You know what I'm saying? He said to God said this, right? He said, let us go down and confuse their tongue. Because right now, anything they set their mind to do, they can. Right?
Yeah.
Right?
I heard this.
So you heard that. Of course, we all heard that as kids, but think about the significance of that. Think about the really deep significance of that. God had to come down himself. God, this entity, this energy, this person, this controller, whatever, was scared.
He a control freak.
He was scared, though. He was scared. What was he scared of? What did Nimrod have? What did Nimrod have? How else could you interpret it?
That's how the story was exactly.
That is how the story went exactly. You can go and look it up in the Bible right now.
God was scared.
It didn't say the guy was scared, but how else could you interpret it?
But you said.
How else could you interpret it? Okay, if somebody said, if I say, man, I'm coming to shoot you. If you don't believe me, you ain't gonna worry about it.
Yeah.
But if I got a gun and I'm crazy and and I got that and are you gonna come? You gonna come?
One thing about quoting the Bible. To me, I don't listen to nobody quote that.
But see, here's the thing: you can quote. Okay, you can say that all day. But go back to my point. Back to my point. Nobody cares about what you're saying. Nobody cares about that. Nobody cares about what you're saying. Go read it for yourself. Go read it for yourself. Go read it for yourself. But like I said,
you can read it.
I've read it.
You can read it.
I've read it. I've just articulated the story beautifully, I thought. And then gave you my.
That's the whole point for having numbers by your verses and numbers by your chapter. That's the whole point of it. So
back to what I was saying though. Nimrod had a wife. Nimrod's wife's name was Semiramis. So Semiramis was this the queen of this empire, right? The queen of this whole empire. Well, one day Nimrod was out hunting, and I don't know exactly how he died. I think supposedly, according to legend, Shem, one of Noah's sons, killed him when he was out hunting by accident. So Nimrod was dead. Nimrod, the great mighty king, the great mighty hunter, the great mighty Nephilim was dead, right? You know what I'm saying? The emperor is there. What are we gonna do? So Semiramis, his wife, went into hiding. She went into her chamber. She went into a deep grief. The next day, she came out and said she was pregnant. She said that she had found the penis of her husband and she had sex with it. And that detached penis, because somebody had killed him and mutilated his body and all that, you know what I'm saying, dumped it in the river. She went and found the penis. And she said through this immaculate conception, this miraculous conception, she conceived a child, Tammuz. And Tammuz went on to become the Savior, the Christ, the Anointed One.
Where that was at?
This was in Samaria.
Where you read it at?
Oh yeah, that's important.
Where did I read this at?
Like what scripture
Where
you
you
talking
read it
about?
at?
Like,
This
what-
is not a scripture. This is what you call extra biblical
Oh,
text.
this ain't in the Bible.
But see, that's
Extra.
so.
Oh,
Let
we get to
me
it.
ask you a question. Let me ask you a question about the Bible. Do you believe the Bible is 100% literally correct?
Hell no. I just told the God was
I
hating on
believe
me.
this.
No, I'm asking you. I mean, you can ask me where I'm getting my sources from, but I can say that
I believe this. Listen.
I want to
let me
listen.
say
Yeah, I'm
this. Let me
listening.
say this. Let me say
I
this.
you can
got my
Google
ear
any of my
on
information.
I'm gonna leave this I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna leave this conversation alone. Every church you go to, you got a preacher that want to preach the way they want to preach.
Okay.
But who cares about a church? My whole point is, who cares about a church, though?
Listen, let me finish.
We're just talking about we're focusing on Christianity.
They're preaching from the. Listen though, they preach from the same Bible, but ain't none of them saying the same thing. But what does that mean?
That different.
How can you preach from the same Bible and not say the same things?
It means the information is
Not preach the same things.
it means
That
either the information is.
is corrupted. That means the information is.
You're absolutely right about that.
By that person's individual preferences.
Fam, I just want to make a bold
Right?
statement.
So that's why you got a church not even every half, with every mile diameter.
Well, can I ask you this then? What's right then? What if everything else is wrong? Then what's right? You know what I mean?
Believe?
What is right?
What you believe?
Yeah.
And what is wrong?
Tell
You
us
can't
what.
preach. You can't get your information from something that you have believe in.
You can get information from everywhere. I can get information.
But you can get information. You can get information, but that don't necessarily mean you believe the information.
You don't have to believe it for it to be true.
You
You don't have to believe something for it to be true.
Look, I just wanted to tell y'all this. The Bible.
You can say, hey, we're going to blow some shit up tomorrow. That don't mean you're going to blow up.
Look, fam. The Bible. If you look,
Everything he says the truth.
look. This what I'm telling you. I just want to say this bold statement. I'm gonna be done with it like you. If you read,
Dumbass shit out here.
look, if you read the book of Genesis, bruh, it'll tell you or describe to you that the Lord of the Bible is your enemy, fam, and the serpent is your friend.
You ain't never read the whole book of Genesis. Stop lying.
I did, fam.
You ain't lie.
I read
You ain't read.
up.
You ain't read that shit, but
I ain't read. I'm gonna be real. I ain't read after it said he placed the flame. Look, I'm being real now. After chapter 3, when he said he placed the flaming sword.
you can be reading.
That's what I'm saying, fam.
I read the whole book of Genesis.
I read 1 to book.
believe you.
I read chapter 1 through 3, fam. I'm telling you, fam. It say in there that.
Wow.
Listen, fam, the Bible said it itself, bro. If you go read 2nd Genesis, God said, Adam, if you eat from this tree, you will surely die. The serpent come up and say, did he tell you that not only is he lying, that when you eat from this tree, your eyes will be open. Y'all in here naked. Bro, they ate from the tree. The Bible did says that the serpent was right. They was naked. It goes on to say that God said, serpent, you have, it said, listen what the Bible say God said. It said, serpent, what have you done? You have given man knowledge of good and evil. Least he reach his hand and
Are
eat.
you reading that right now?
It's the exact words, I promise. It sounds like it's
Are
on.
you reading that right now?
No, sir, bro. I read it so many
All
times.
right.
That, listen,
You
bro.
ain't reading that
These are exact red letters that I'm telling you. God said this red letters that I'm telling you. It say you have given man knowledge of good and evil. Least he reach his hand for and eat from the tree of life, he will live forever. Curse ye among fam. From him, he.
The tree of knowledge of good and bad is two different trees.
Did you hear what I said? Did you hear what I said? I said God said, least he reaches. I said God said, least he reach his hand and eat from the tree of life. They will live forever. Curse ye of all livestock, etc., etc. What I'm saying, why I say that, to say to you, from the jump, when we found out we was naked, bro, God was on our ass and he kicked everybody
and Bible
out and
God is very insecure. The God of the Bible is very insecure. The God of the Bible is very contradictory. You know what I'm saying? Because like you just said, he said, well, you surely die. And the serpent said, well, no, you're not going to die. You're just going to know some shit. So they ate it and they know some shit and they didn't die. And they were like, huh.
He lied.
He lied. And not only that, he told Moses, well, nobody can see my face. No man was sure. Moses told him, God is not a man that he should lie. God is not a man that he should lie. And no man should ever see my face lest he surely perish. However, all throughout the Bible, you see instances of God came down and said this, and God came down and said this. Like, are we really looking at the words we're really looking at here? You know what I'm saying? Now, I don't get me wrong. I know there are different translations, and of course, you go back to the Hebraic, and you'll definitely get some people in there that'll say, well, these words mean this, or this word that means that a messenger was sent to them, or Gabriel was sent, or Michael was sent, or Raphael, or Uriel, or one of his other messenger angels was sent. That doesn't mean that God came down. Okay, I get that. I get that part. But why do we call Jesus? Why do they? Why do Christians? I'm getting on Christians a little bit too much here. Let me get off of Christians. But it's just the whole idea that we've never seen God at any time, never will see God at any time. You can't see him unless your eyeballs fry out. But Jesus is supposed to be God now all of a sudden. And Jesus tell you himself explicitly, I'm not God. You know what I'm saying? I'm but his slave. You know?
That what God wanted, slave. It tell you in the book of Genesis. He said they no good from evil. Least they eat this fruit, they will live forever. Curse you of all life. He cursed everybody because bruh know he was naked, fam. Bruh ain't know. Bro, what the fuck was God doing in there with them naked folks? And they know they was naked, fam.
And not only that, he walking around in the. If you go back to the book of Genesis,
they didn't even know what the fuck was going on.
No, here's the thing: they didn't know what was going on. And his was really spooky. Think about this: they didn't know what was going on. They found fig leaves to cover themselves, right? And now the Bible goes on to say, well, God decided to walk in the garden. He's walking in the midst of the garden. So God is a person now with feet and legs. He's all of a sudden a man. Even though I just said a couple of verses later, God is not a man that he should lie. God, no one will ever see God at any time.
And then what I want to tell you, this is another bold statement that if you read Genesis, it backed me up. Bruh, God was in there doing some unspeakable things in there. Bruh, when he ate that apple, he had to think about how many times God did something nasty to him. Folks,
I don't know about all that.
It say when God walked in there, they ran in there and covered up and they were trying to hide they nakedness, folk. They were like, bruh, the nigga one lying, folk. We in here naked. Adam did. It don't say. The Bible can't then turn around and say Adam has been lied to.
Oh my God!
The Bible can't say, well, Adam don't know who to believe right now. It don't say that. It gonna tell you, oh, you cursed because you disobeyed God. How? The motherfucking serpent just told you. He lied. The girl ate it.
I'll put it like this. Omar said something a minute ago that was very correct. All of these texts have been corrupted because man wrote them. You know what I'm saying? We'll never get the information right. You know what I'm saying? Because we get the information, it can be channeled into this plane. You know what I'm saying? It could definitely be channeled into this plane, but getting it right is the hard part. Like writing it down right is the hard part. Muhammad got it wrong. All the prophets got it wrong. You go back to Egypt. Egypt got it wrong. Egypt got some stuff in there that's wrong too.
Why you say that?
I won't say that they have it wrong. I'll just say that everything ain't right. You know what I'm saying? Everything ain't right. You know what I'm saying? Like they did some stuff that was pretty messed up too. You know what I'm saying?
That's how we got here. Okay, I'm gonna tell you another bold statement. I know this is why the moon is system and all that. Check this out. The Egyptians were so advanced and so technology up and all this. They were so fucking advanced in technology. They weaponized the system like a home security, more advanced than you could fathom right now. Like we think we got, bam. They had a system so fucking cold that it decided that war was. It said not only was war the problem, war ain't the problem, y'all the problem. Human was the problem. They made a system to weaponize and help. Like it was like being smart. Like what this need, what that need. So like it was trying to, they made some shit that helped the whole environment, help with gold, oil, help with air. The motherfucking thing that they made turned around and said, no, nigga, y'all is the problem. If I can get y'all to stop making shit in war, and I can use y'all as a battery, and I can make this a better place for all of us.
And on that note, we're gonna cut it short. We're at an hour and 20 minutes. I think that was a good show. We still got 2 people watching, man. I think that was a good show.
We